Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a critical topic: immigration deportation policies under Donald Trump's first presidency. Hi, I'm Attorney Jay Francis. I'm a U.S. immigration lawyer based in Chicago, but serving all 50 states. From 2017 to 2021, Trump's administration implemented significant changes to immigration enforcement, which affected millions of immigrants and their families. In this video, we will explore the key policies, their impacts, and what it meant for immigrant communities. Also, we're gonna project, discuss, and speculate what may happen during his second term, which may be very similar to what he tried to do. We'll see whether he will be successful this time. If you're navigating the U.S. immigration system or simply trying to stay informed, this video is for you. Let's get started. Number one, key deportation policies under Trump's first term. Let's begin discussing the major deportation policies and practices implemented during his first term. Number one, increase ICE enforcement. One of the most notable changes was the expansion of ICE enforcement actions. Under Trump, any undocumented immigrant became a priority for deportation, even those without criminal records. The arrest of non-criminal immigrants increased significantly, creating a climate of fear and uncertainty for millions. Prior to these significant changes in ICE enforcement, those who enter with a visa, overstay, but didn't have any criminal records were not put into removal proceedings. But under Trump's first presidency, many were put into removal proceeding. Number two, rescinding DACA. Trump became president in January 2017. In September 2017, his administration tried to rescind the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrival, as known as a DACA program. While the Supreme Court blocked this effort in 2020, thanks to vigorous litigation and lawsuits, the attempt left nearly 700,000 dreamers in limbo, unsure of their futures. Continuing litigation prevented USCIS from accepting brand new DACA applications. As of today, only allowed to renew DACA cases every 2 years. Also, accept and approve DACA advanced parole cases. They're all related to Trump's efforts to rescind DACA. Number three, zero tolerance and family separation. Trump's zero tolerance policy at the southern border between the United States and Mexico led to criminal prosecution of all adults crossing the border illegally. Prior to this, crossing border without inspection and admission or parole was admin law violation. It wasn't criminal law violation. Trump's administration made this one a criminal law violation. This policy caused separation of thousands of children from their parents because their parents were treated as criminals, sparking national and international outrage. Number 4, targeting sanctuary cities. Trump's administration sought to punish sanctuary cities, places that limit cooperation with the federal immigration enforcement, by threatening to withhold federal funding and increasing ICE raids into this area. Chicago, other major sanctuary cities, were targeted by the Trump's administration. Number 5, expedited removal. The use of expedited removal was significantly expanded, allowing ICE to deport individuals without any court hearing if they couldn't prove that they're in the U.S. for more than 2 years. This policy bypassed a traditional due process protections in the immigration system. It means that if you're put it into removal proceeding, you have a chance to prove whether you have a relief and whether you'll be able to stay in the U.S. Massive and regular expedited removal also happen at the airports. When foreign nationals enter the U.S. with valid visas, such as a tourist visa, and then without visa, which is ESTA, many of them were put it into secondary inspection, during which their backpacks and luggages were inspected, and also their cell phones were reviewed by CBP officers. Many of them were accused of coming to U.S. to get married and apply for green card, which is actually not permitted when you enter the U.S. with ESTA or tourist visa, or coming to U.S. to work illegally, which is also not permitted under tourist visa or ESTA. Many of them were to depart the United States. It's called expedited removal, and their tourist visa or ESTA was revoked or canceled. When you're subject to expedited removal order, bypassing the court hearing, you're subject to 5-year U.S. entry bar. Number 2, I'm going to talk about the impacts on immigrant communities, the families and friends who are affected by Trump's immigration during his first term. Trump administration's aggressive immigration policies had profound impacts on immigrant communities across the United States, whether you're living in sanctuary city or not. Family separations were rampant. Families were torn apart, with the parents deported while their U.S.-born children were left behind. Or simply, parents and children were separated. They couldn't find each other. There was a tremendous fears in communities. Many immigrants avoided public spaces like courthouse, airports, healthcare, afraid of visiting hospitals, and even reporting crimes due to fear of deportation. Many families were separated early morning, 2 a.m., 1 a.m., 3 p.m. ICE knock on the door and rounded up the adults, sometimes children as well. Terrible economic consequences. Deportations disrupted families, leading to job losses and economic instability for both individuals and communities. Number 3, what could happen in his second term. Now, let's look ahead. Based upon Trump's campaign rhetoric and past policies, what might we expect if when he starts his second term? So let's talk about what may happen under his second term, which is scheduled to start January 20, 2025. Number one, stricter enforcement. We could see a revival of aggressive deportation policies with expanded use of ICE raids into the factories, public spaces, private residencies, many places, whether you're in sanctuary city or not, expedited removal through the border or airports, broad enforcement priorities. Once again, the simple fact that you're undocumented, it means that you don't have a status, you'll be a target of this mass deportation. Number two, birthright citizenship. Trump has proposed ending birthright citizenship, which could drastically alter U.S. immigration law and policy. Many of you who are undocumented may have U.S. citizen children. I mean, they were born in the U.S. Why? Because born in the U.S. and U.S. citizen. Why? Because they're born in the U.S., regardless of parents' citizenship status. Even though birthright citizenship is not really per anti-immigration policy or related to mass deportation, the idea is that they like to prevent parents from claiming a relief when they're put it into removal proceeding, or it depends on how they enter the U.S., if they enter with a visa or ESTA. But when the children were born and turned 21, then they will be able to adjust their status with the USCIS. Number three, more border restriction. The further construction of the border wall. Remember, Trump showcased many different, wall dividing the Mexico and the United States. Heightened surveillance technology, right, are likely to be prioritized. Number four, sanctuary city penalties. Sanctuary cities could face even more intense enforcement efforts or federal funding cuts. Now, there's a possibility that even Trump's administration, because they will control the Senate, House, presidency, with the support of the courts, including U.S. Supreme Court, they may try to bring congressional, the legislation that really turn the clock against legal and illegal immigration. We shall see. Number four, let's wrap it up. Trump's first presidency brought significant changes to immigration enforcement, leaving a lasting impact on millions of people. While it is uncertain what the future holds, staying informed and prepared is key to protecting yourself and your loved ones. If you find this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and share it with anyone who might benefit from this information. If you have any questions or topics you'd like us to cover, let us know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace be with you. Stay safe.